11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. Come to you live every weeknight at midnight Eastern, and we talk about guns for an hour. We go live at midnight because we value the interactive nature of this internet. Oh, just noticed that my one light isn't working. All right, nothing I can do about that. We go live because we value the interactive nature of the internet. We go live at midnight because we want to own this time slot. We've been doing this for 1,500 episodes, most of them at midnight Eastern. And our goal would be to do a show that lasts all night long. So we have Patreons, people that support what we do. They subscribe to our channel. Most of them are buying us a cup of coffee each month. Some of them are buying us lunch each month. All that accumulates, 100 and so people. It accumulates and helps us pay the bills. That way, we're able to put on a show like this one. We're able to have dozens and dozens of websites that offer decent information about our community. And, of course, the social efforts. But then we do the other things, the coaching and the community building and stuff like that, which we really appreciate. And the subscribers, the people that join us on Patreon, make it possible. All right, so our goal is to do this show 3 hours long. We'd like to talk about 2A for like an hour. Then the whole middle part would just be plain old guns, the good stuff, just talking about guns and the culture and the history and all the fun stuff that really doesn't matter, but it's fun to talk about. And then we'd end the show each day, because that would be the morning. We would end the show with a something that would help get people who work at gun shops or going out to the range or people heading to a gun show everything they need to know that day. What's going on on the calendar, what's going on in the political front, give them a ammunition, so to speak, for the day. That would be our goal. Till then, we'll go live for about an hour or so, and we'll do what we can do. We're 1,500 something episodes in, and we're not slowing down. So let's head over here. We'll switch from the puppy cam here we'll bring in our co-host screen, Sharon, over here. And we'll start sharing this screen. And we'll bring the puppy cam down over here. We'll give the puppy a petting for everybody that's thumbing up the show today. Thanks for joining us this evening. You don't have to join us at midnight, but we appreciate the people that do. We encourage you to be part of the show. As I open up the screens here for us to take a look at what's going on, you'll see that a good quarter or a third of the screen over here is taken up, part I'm wiggling, is taken up by the comments. So be part of the show. We're paying attention to that. We value the people on the other side of the internet that are here when we go live. All right. I don't know what the hell this is. Do you all tell YouTube to leave you alone when it shows you dumb shit like that? Like, it just sent me some kind of dumb recommendation on the main YouTube page. So here's the deal. If you just go to plain YouTube, it's going to show you what it thinks you want. So it's showing me some girls. Then it's an ad though. And then it's showing me my show on another channel. It's showing me some friends of mine, and then some channels that I don't really watch. And then it's showing me some shorts from friends of mine and stuff, and then some stuff I don't watch, and then some posts from some friends of mine, and then more stuff that I don't watch. I guess I watch Cape Gunworks, but all this other stuff is they're just trying to see what I might like. If I click on subscriptions, though, this is only the stuff from people I subscribe to, and I spend most of my time on this section of YouTube. I don't know about y'all. So I don't really explore YouTube too often. I'm usually looking at the stuff from the people I know who are putting out stuff that I value. And that's usually enough for me to keep up with what I consider my finger on the pulse. So what I do with this show is each week take a look back at the stuff that I've been watching. And since I was not able to assemble it this week, we will assemble it together. So here's how I do it. I typically open up StreamYard and do it in there, but I'm going to do it in, where am I going to do it today? I guess we're going to do it in, where's the best place to do it? I think the best place to do it is going to be, I would normally say Substack, but Shippo, not Shippo. I was normally going to say Substack, but I think now that I'm thinking more about it, Substack is going to not create hyperlinks, which is a pain in the butt. So I think the place that we will create it is going to be Patreon. Why? Because Patreon will create hyperlinks automatically. So it's just a weird formatting thing. YouTube will do it, StreamYard will do it, and Patreon will do it. Some of the other lesser platforms will do it as well. But of the platforms I feel like using tonight, this is the largest, most useful one for our plans. I guess the newsletter would work too, but that's a horrible interface, and I'm not going to go do that. All right. So let's dig into what I'm going to do is just put together the show here in front of everybody. I am definitely not above doing that. So what we're doing is given the title here. Actually, I put the title in the wrong place. We'll put the title right here, and then we'll take the link to this actual video, which I guess I can pull from here. We'll put that over on the Patreon, and then we'll start to build the post to this actual video. Oops, we'll build a post. Oh, come on. We'll put that over on the Patreon, and you son of a... And we'll start... Shut up. All right. We'll... Oh, look, a bunch of people came over from Gizzard's show. Thanks, Gizzard, for doing that. Whenever you're doing live shows, you can go into edit, like I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go on a side tangent. I'm going to go into a side show. I'm going to find a show that, like I'm going to do right now. I'm sick of hearing myself pop up. So tomorrow, the weekly bullet is happening, right? So I can open up the daily bullet, I guess, that happens in 12 hours. Now, I would link to, oh, there's nothing that happens. So that's the weekly bullet. That'll happen tomorrow. So we'll go back into the, wow, is my internet really this slow? Here they are. So we're going to go into our video details of the show that we're in right now. And we're going to click on the customization tab there. We already had a trailer, but now we're going to add a redirect. And that redirect is going to be the bullet tomorrow. Uh-oh. The bullet has their privileges turned off so that people can't link to them. What do you know? So is there a Suicide Prevention Saturday already up there? Let's go find out. We can go over to subscriptions. Oh, I already have my subscriptions. We can go down here to subscriptions and find a great chart. Start shooting school and look under live. Oh, you know what? She doesn't have hers set up to accept live requests either. Normally, I would link to a live thing there. I guess I wasn't able to do it. All right, so getting back out of all of this, I guess got to go to here. I guess you may not be able to hear this, but this little dog is snoring. So you might hear some dog snoring in this video. I apologize. I understand that there are a whole group of people out there that don't like to see dogs in any kind of videos on the internet. All right, I guess I was going to come over here since I was in here. Hour and a half later, 11 minutes later, and let's put in a poll. How did you like this week for 2A? That's the big question. How was this week for 2A? Right? Is it a good week? Well, let's see. We got a great week. good. And then we got okay. And then we got bad. So what do you think? How was this week compared to other weeks for the 2A? Feel free to leave a comment over on the big channel if you're listening on one of the other channels that we simulcast out to on the big channel. If you're listening, the poll is only on the big channel. You would think that once you put the volume down like this, that every time I run it, it would just remember that and not play a volume anymore. Let's see. All right. On this tab, we've got the poll going. So far, we got bad week for 2A. I go under where that vote came from. And then we're just going to leave the video. We'll come back to it after a bit. G23 says he's chopping in on his way to bed. Good evening. Good to hear the good news about your vacuum. And glad to hear that's you're moving along in that direction. Let's see, though. Agrizer was the first one to say, hey, welcome. Ventos is out there getting a petting for the puppy. Worthwhile Fun is out there as well. Good evening. And it looks like that's everybody. Agrizer saying the first time I've seen that intro. Oh, really? So I only do that one on Fridays because that's the Friday. I think I did the Friday. Did I do the Friday one today? This is my Friday one.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache.
Got ninjas.
John has a long mustache.
AR-15 battles.
Americans, another
Got
day
ninjas.
of victory. And for all of you out there
Legal
on
fireworks
the line,
in California.
is your song.
Ninjas. Dancing girls from the 80s. And then robots. Robot apocalypse at the end. Everything you need to start off a podcast for the week. All right. So getting back to the comments. Feel free to leave some comments in here. Missouri, SAPA loss in Michigan House votes. That's why you picked bad week. I think you could be in other states and also pick bad week, honestly, this week. Oh, that one at the beginning. That is from Foss, and I'll play that again because we only have one order from the store, and that's a cool 26-second commercial that DM Foss made for us a while back now. Oh man, those give me an excuse to drink a bunch of coffee, so I just guzzled way too much coffee right there. All right, I gotta blow my nose. I drank so much coffee that I gotta blow my nose. I don't know if that's ever happened to me before. Anyway, thanks again to Foss. Anybody that makes intros and stuff is always appreciated. It's fun to see people participating in other people's projects out there. All right, well, it doesn't look like too many people are participating in this project tonight. We got one vote in the poll, so we'll just assume nobody's watching live tonight, and I'll just start digging in. All right, so except for Agrizer, thanks for joining us. All right, so what I'm going to do here is head away from the video, and I'm just going to go over to my history tab of YouTube. So if you click on that little hamburger thing, you click on history, bada bing, bada boom, you get your list of, I just got done guzzling coffee and now I'm on it. You get a list of all the videos that you've been watching in reverse order. And I don't think you can change the order. You know, all you can do is pause it, delete it, and that's it. But it says manage all history. What's that about? Saving your YouTube history, auto delete is off. Oh, I guess this is just a fancy way to go in and delete them. But yeah, don't do that. You can delete them from right here. You just click that X. So anyway, this is just a reverse order of all the stuff that I've been watching. So what I do is I'll just kind of go through the list. This is this show, so there's no need to click on that. Gizzard, he might be over. He might still be going. I'm not sure. But Gizzard just did his show. This was Team House earlier this evening. Awesome, amazing interview. Like, I cannot recommend enough. If you have a couple of spare hours each week, listen to some of these military interviews. They're beyond. They're really good. They're really, really good, and this one is no exception. A really interesting one. We got the bullet from Paul and the Second Amendment Foundation. We had a pretty good conversation yesterday about training. How long was it? An hour or something, talking about the history of training and stuff. So it's going to show you all the stuff that I've been posting, I guess. So these are videos that I've been posting. I don't know about you, but if you go to the community tab, you can schedule posts for the future. And I've been posting some Shooter's Almanac, gun calendar type of stuff. Let's see. So we have the Armed Attorneys. Nothing to see there. We got Cape Gunworks talking about a new pistol on the roster in Massachusetts. We did a thing about firearms training the other night. I've been posting a bunch of shorts, so you're going to see all these different shorts just showing up. And whenever you post shorts, you end up seeing other people's shorts. So here's a bunch of my knife shorts that are coming. And then there's some pictures, posts like this one. It's a preview of one of our shorts that's on the way. Oh, wait, it's going to copyright me. How do I turn off the volume? Oh, okay. Right, you got the idea what the volume is? Right? Copyrighted it as soon as it got put together. But I made this little short with the dog screaming. Is Ozzy out there? Because he's shouting at a certain thing. All right, well, so you got a preview of a puppy video that's on its way. A little short video. He's going to start earning his keep. All right, so getting back to the videos that need to be talked about. We have Susan, Worthwhile Fun, doing the testimony in Missouri. Talked about that a little bit last night. That's an 8-minute version of it. What do you think about the credit card companies? All that news about the credit card companies, it got a bunch of views, made a bunch of people some money. Credit card companies are doing their thing, and then all of a sudden, hey, we won. We get to complain about the credit card companies and how we won. Guess who made a bunch of money again? I'm just saying, we could have been worrying about Washington or Oregon or you name it, Michigan, right? Instead, we're playing this ping pong game. Now we're seeing different channels playing the ping pong game. Well, I don't know what the hell that is. Going through, Chris had his chat. Oh, he had an impromptu chat. That was pretty good. I've been listening to some of these S2 Underground. Pretty good videos on communications and mostly communications. James's daughter Kayla went to the Tennessee the Tennessee House and Senate to testify, and she talks about her experiences doing that. So following up with an after action. We got a bunch of different shorts going up there. Got Michael Cargill starting a new lawsuit against the ATF. This is, I'm not going to post it, but this is one of the groups in Canada that I follow. Has Alberta is essentially a state up there, and they're doing a firearms freedom type of Second Amendment amnesty type of law for Alberta versus the federal government up there. let's see, Sporting Systems did a video about the situation and the passing of the purchase to, or the semi-auto rifle ban, and then the permit to purchase, which sounded like it was imminent. And I haven't been watching the news today, so I don't know if the permit to purchase has gone through or not, like they assumed it would. Maybe somebody out there live will know for us. But I think we'll link to that one. We have Chris doing his Wednesday show. I usually link to that. Sandhills did the Get Off My Lawn. I don't know how many people watch both of those shows, but both of those shows were mopey shows this week. Chris's show was about things that you don't like at the range, so FUD topic. And then Get Off My Lawn was about words matter, and that turned into you shouldn't open carry. Oh no, it was words matter, and you shouldn't complain when somebody says clip instead of magazine, and you're not supposed to, I don't get it. So both of them were very FUD conversations, but it's one of those things. People got, especially groups of people that get together, you're going to go through these phases of conversations, phases of awareness, phases of what you care about, phases of what you're comfortable with. When you never carried a gun before, the idea of someone carrying a gun is scary to you. You're like, wow, that should be somebody who really knows what's going on, somebody who's really knows what's happening. When you've never driven a car before, you think, wow, look at all the knobs on the steering, on the dashboard, and look at all the pedals, and look at all the laws there are, and look at how many things could go wrong, and look at how this is just a bunch of parts that could fall apart at any time. So you have to be ready at any moment, at a split second. You have to be able to react to the vehicle literally just braking, not to mention somebody else's vehicle whipping out of control and you having to react to it. Can you imagine how good of a mechanical operator you must be to own a vehicle and to drive a vehicle? But yet we put all that trip onto firearms. So I get it. When people are new, or when people are still getting used to it, and when people are around a bunch of new people, that happens too. You can be old and be around so many new people that you think everybody's new, but you also got to take a step back every once in a while and realize that one of the safest things you can do is be around guns. The only time it's not safe to be around guns, literally, is when someone's committing suicide. And honestly, if you were around them at that point, you'd probably change their mind. So you'd probably be better off if you were around people with guns when they're not in a great mood, because you can help them get out of that mood. But again, people are going to have these conversations. We're going to include it in the list this week, but I'm doing it under protest that I don't like these conversations that get all mopey. You got to let people have their growing pains. You got to let people open carry. You got to let people, do dumb things, because one day they'll be doing other things, and maybe it'll be even dumber. And maybe they'll quit doing dumb things. You got to let people buy dumb stuff so that they can learn what dumb stuff is all about. It takes a while for gun people to do that. They don't all get to there. I think what I've experienced is a lot of gun people who get into guns. They start to share their guns online, and then they like to share guns online, but then they realize other people aren't like them. And they're not just sharing their guns, they're sharing their version of guns, and that there's other versions of guns out there. And some people don't like that. And then they quit sharing and they leave. Other people figure out, wow, there's all kinds of different guns out here, and they just start sharing and never stop. So you're going to experience that portion of it too. There's going to be people that are not going to get past some of this FUD stuff, and they're going to leave the conversation or just kind of stay there. And the conversation will usually move right along. So, at 100 something episodes with the Get Off My Lawn, at 55 going strong with Chris, they're not going to hang out there too long. We'll watch and see if they go back and address those topics or not. Let's see. We've got, I did listen to this. This is a replay from an earlier episode. Team House has been playing essentially their Patreon stuff weeks later, months later, and it's a pretty good way to do it. So they'll have somebody on for a long format interview, and then they'll often hold the people afterwards and have a couple of more conversations, a little more in depth on something or another, maybe some subject they broached or some adventure that is in their book or something, and they'll quit the live stream, and then the hosts will interview the person about that other thing, and they'll do that off air. They'll post that off air conversation for their Patreons pretty much right away. So Patreons to the team house can watch the live stream with everybody and then jump over to Patreon and get a version of the off air pretty much that night. Then months, months later, they'll take that extra footage and post it as a, what do they call it, a premiere. So it's pretty neat. They give you a chance to see the stuff that's on Patreon after a delay, and then you get to see the stuff with people in the conversation, some of them seeing it for the first time. So it's an extra layer that adds some interest to their channel. I'd highly recommend it if you've got Patreons, or if you've got channel members, or if you just want to do something special for certain people, giving them access to the stuff immediately and then uploading the rest of it for everybody else later. Seems like on the outside, seems like a great idea. Doesn't sound like too much extra work. I'm scrolling through. You can see I watched a bunch of my own stuff, and then hopefully that's not really me watching it necessarily. It's just me linking to stuff usually. Got barbecue there. Got the 4 boxes guy. I don't know. Did he do anything interesting this week? I didn't really obviously watch too much of his stuff. He's usually live every day. Some of these get on my nerves when they're got something to say every single day. We did a group by probe, I guess. We put some feelers out to see if anybody's interested in buying some gear from Poland. There's a couple of things that I might be interested in, and we can get them cheap, or at least cheaper than the retail price. However, I got to buy like a box of it. I can't just buy. I have a 1-item minimum order, but they're saying to ship stuff from Poland, it's better to buy like a big box of stuff that they can cram in a whole bunch of stuff into one box. And then shipping isn't as bad, because that can be an issue if we order too much stuff or too little stuff. So I'm looking to see if anybody's interested in buying anything from Poland. We might do a small group buy. If you're interested, check it out. And it's super well made. I checked the stuff out at SHOT Show. Super well made out of real materials. It would be very compliant, except that it's in Poland. But it's what the Polish special operators, the different units over there, are having their stuff made by this company, from what it sounds like. And it definitely seems to be of that quality. At just a little bit higher than Chinese prices, too. So it's great quality at very good prices. Riding Shotgun with Charlie had Carrie Ann on. Very cool. Crump was on, or had Tony on, was on Crump Show. We had Cape Gunworks doing their show on Wednesday and on Tuesday. Carrie Ann was on the Played Society podcast this week also. She's been all over the place. Let's see. The ATF big loss with Final Rule. I'm trying to remember that one. I feel like I watched that. I'm going to have to watch it again, but it's probably worth adding to the list. Asad Ayub did kind of an interesting video with his vest. Looks like he's got going on 500,000 views in a few days. So I think a lot of people are watching that video. I wonder if they're watching it because of the backup sandwich, or if they're watching it because he's got interesting points about perceptions, and the old wives' tales of the 90s don't apply in the 2020s. Let's see, a bunch of stuff from Yankee. He got banned from doing live this week. Got some mail calls. What did Clover and I talk about this week? I think we talked about funding and merch. And I'll have to do another poll here to figure out what we're going to talk about this week. Clover and Ghost had their show this week for the first time. I think they go live every other week. We had Brooke Cheney hosting another live for an hour and a half, talking about the mandatory voting in Connecticut, going through some of the bills there. I only caught the last half hour or so of that one. Defense Dad and Travis did a chat to talk about Thunder on the Prairie, the shooting event that they're hosting for the second year now up in Nebraska. They got Gizzard Gary's logo on there, and they're getting it ready, chatting about it. Sisters in Arms talking about what teal for 2A means. We had Josh Prince on with the Meet the Pressers earlier this week. Echo posted a video of bump firing at a bunch of chickens. I don't know if that's safe to post, so I'm not gonna, but if you know what I'm talking about there. So Island Target Radio had their show this week. The Michael Cargill had their show this week. Come and Talk It. You had Gun Owners Radio had their show. I got there late. I forgot what I was doing before. And everybody who was watching Gun Owners Radio said it was a really good episode this week. I haven't had a chance to go back and watch it. It's been one of those weeks. But everybody at the time was saying it was a really good episode. When it ended, everybody was saying thanks very much and all that. So it seemed like they dig it. They dug it. Let's see. Just Talking About It Can Help was the title of Suicide Prevention Saturday this week, or last week, where Brooke Cheney does a consistent effort on awareness of suicide prevention when we know that 2 out of 3 deaths with a firearm, especially the numbers that they've been using. It's changed just recently because there's been an increase in the number of homicides over the last years. But aside from that increase in the number of homicides, most of the numbers, most of the deaths that the anti-rights bigots will use against gun ownership and against gun owners is suicides. And they'll suggest that the ownership of firearms has some relation to suicides. And that's why her weekly focus, her weekly effort to shed light on, but also to offer coaching on how to broach the subject and methods and ways to bring it up into conversations with both anti-gunners and people who are gun owners is such a tremendous accomplishment. So thanks to Brooke for doing that each week. And this topic this week again was Just Talking About It Can Help. 17, 18-minute conversation, again, an awareness campaign. G23 had his chat. I think I mentioned before when he went to bed that he's doing better. He's feeling better. So if you're not keeping up to date on G23, but you're aware of what's going on over there, he's feeling better. His vacuum tube came out, sounds like, and he's still got to travel, but things are looking better. Let's see, the AR or the F-15. This one here, let me go double check. There was a couple of recent conversations on Combat Story. Like I say, the one today on Team House with the guy from 9 Rota, or 9 Para, sorry, the Indian Special Operations Unit was nuts. How I found incredibly risky fights. Oh, yeah. This guy, holy crap. These guys are both pilots. So for one, pilots talking to each other is a whole nother level. If you've never listened to pilots talk to each other, you don't need to be a pilot to understand when two people that are speaking the same thing can start speaking the same thing to each other. So this was a guy who was literally homeless, literally just being kind of a Florida person, and then uh, ended up catching a job or getting himself into a position to get a job, piggybacking or hopping, island hopping airplanes out to the Caribbean. So people would pay money to have an airplane flown down to these island nations, and this guy would do the actual flying, the piloting, and it was an experience that gave him experience behind the stick, and then I guess the gumption, I don't know the word, the ambition to become an F-15 pilot for the National Guard, and then just having a very interesting career after such a crazy non-traditional path to get to be an F-15 pilot. What a story. What a story. Definitely worth checking these things out. I don't post them because anybody's paying me. I'm not posting them because I'm trying to waste your time. These are super interesting stories sometimes. At least when I say that, that's because they're super interesting. Not everything I listen to is super interesting, but that was another super interesting one. Went live with Tony and Clover again, and I guess I screwed up the time. That's what happened. And we did it for just an hour. We did pretty good. I think with that, we're about finished. Kind of slow this week. I didn't have anything prepped, so it went kind of quick. I might be missing some stuff. I usually go through and kind of skim or scrape the Instagram for some numbers and some stuff as well. And I just don't have the time to do it this week. We'll take these deals up here, these links, and we'll put them over here into the Patreon post. Once that's finished, I'll take the post and copy and paste the whatever will fit into the YouTube video. So if you're listening this on YouTube, normally the description of this video on Fridays is links to all the stuff we've just talked about. In this case, I kind of put it together as we're talking. So like I say, the links will be there eventually. But that's going to be the show. Let's go check out the live over on the big channel here, and we'll see if anybody's been participating in the poll. Saw that Ron Wayne showed up. That's the only other person that showed up tonight. So only got 4 potentials. Not many people out there right now. And what happened? I'm going to the wrong place. That's why I'm finding the wrong thing. The poll is on the actual show. Just hiding over here. Well, somehow we got 6 votes, 2 for each of them, so almost useless. Great week for 2A got 2. Then nothing for good week, which is interesting. 2 of them for okay and 2 of them for bad. So I guess I can understand, depending on what state you're in, what your opinion of the week would be. My opinion of the week is we're complacent when we should be training, when we should be getting to the next level. Whoa. When we should be working on changing the game so that they can't anticipate our next move, so that we keep the people who are interested and able strong and active. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and what happened to my screen here? It's being all super weird. I guess I narrowed the browser too much and it popped the thing underneath. So what's happening here is I've got the DuckDuckGo browser, and however many tabs there I just opened, they are all on this browser. So there's 3 browsers open right now. This one with a whole bunch of tabs. Then this one that's open up to Patreon, and that's where I was going to start putting the copying and pasting all the stuff from those tabs. And then the third one, of course, over here where everybody's watching the show. And this one's streaming, so this one's doing some real work. It's got the webcam with the puppy over here. And then this one's doing tons of work. It's got all these different tabs open. Anyway, so it's glitching a little bit, and that's to be expected. But I think I'm going to fall asleep. And we didn't get a ton of people showing up tonight. Let's start wrapping up. What we'll do, though, is... Man, how do I guess I'll just leave this for now, and I'll attempt to just plain old open the studio here and see if we can't take the new window over here, and if it will let me, in other words, if it'll ever open, it has not yet opened, we will try to find who's been super chatting. We did get our super chats back. Thanks for the people who have super chatted. I think there's like 3. So we're going to jump onto this. Wow, that took a long time. Everything's just taking forever to open. I think it's because of all these tabs. So if I would have done that a little bit differently, instead of opening up all those tabs separately, if I would have just taken the data, copied and pasted it over here, probably the computer would be working a little bit better. Let's see, super chats. I think I click here for view, and then click see all. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. Almost. There we go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 super chats this month. Let's see, 4 different people too. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll open up random.org over here. Now those 4 people are Art, who may or may not be out there, Baron, Anne-Marie, and Krabby Turtle. So I don't know who all's still out there, if those people are out there or not. So we're going to go to random. Everybody's taken off. So good night. We'll go to random.org. And whoa, could that be any larger? I'm at 500%, so that's not helping anything. All right. And at 1% or at 100%, we'll put in the number 4. That's 4. Let's say that Krabby is 1, Anne-Marie is 2, Baron is 3. And it's 3. So that means Baron. And Baron purchased something from the store, so we can include that stuff for Baron right in there. Now, is Baron out there right now? That's the question. There's only a couple of people out there, so he's probably not. But I can talk to Baron tomorrow, perhaps. Wait, no, I can't. I thought there was an overnight tomorrow, but there's not. So let me write down. I should put some cards back over here so I can have things to write on. I will put here for the super chat. And this is 310, right? Equals Baron. All right. Test this out one more time. Now we have a vote for everything. Oh, there's Krabby Turtle. Just almost squeaked in with the thing. With a win. But we're going to close this. Man. Here's the thing. If I just shut this down and close my eyes, I'm going to fall asleep. So if I leave this open, I'll fall asleep. And this will all be sitting here tomorrow. I still need to set up, or wait, did I already set up? I need to set up Ask Gun questions too. So I think what we're going to do is end this thing. I'll have to take some kind of a nap and then wake up in a bit and try to get some of that stuff done and then go to sleep. Let's see if I can do it that way. All right, so that's what's called burning the candle on both ends. We're going to, oh, there's Maggie. We're going to wrap up the poll here. So how was this week? We got just as many people. It's like a weird yang of results. Just as many people saying it's a great week as saying it's a bad week, and then some people saying good or okay. Well, I don't want to start getting into ragging on anything 45 minutes in when I'm tired, but I could. I feel like I could definitely rag on those results. So I'm not gonna. So we'll pat the puppy on the head. We'll bring the puppy back over to full screen, and we'll potentially, depending on how things go live here in a little bit. But I'm just way too tired to keep going right now. So we'll wrap it on up here. So many projects piling up. So many projects piling up. Only a couple of important ones, and those are well underway. But lots of little ones. Lots of little ones. I've been watching tutorials on the other machine over there. I feel like I had a couple of other things I was going to bring up this week that I'm just not. I didn't have them written down, so I'm not recollecting them, especially being as tired as I am right now. So I'm going to succumb to the tiredness. We'll maybe be back in the middle of the night. Probably not, but maybe. And then we'll be back with Ask Gun questions. We're starting a new project over the weekend. One of the projects, in order to try to keep the house and pay bills or whatever, is to try selling on Whatnot. So if you're not familiar with Whatnot, it's the new eBay. So imagine eBay and YouTube smushed together. And now you can go live and sell stuff. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be selling some tie-dyes tomorrow on Saturday. See how that works. And then we're going to be selling some patches on Sunday as part of Sunday Patch Day. And then pretty much every day we're going to be selling stuff on Whatnot until we figure out what sells. And then hopefully continue to pay bills so that we can come back to do this kind of stuff. So thanks to those Patreons, the people that make it possible for us to even consider doing this stuff. We lose Patreons all the time. I understand that it's not a easy time to be subscribing to things that are only providing some stuff online for certain people sometimes, and other things have priority. But those people, 100 or so people that are participating in what we do, you make it possible. Like, we wouldn't even literally be able to do any of this stuff without Patreons. So if you consider taking $20 a month, throw $5 of it at us over on Patreon, take the rest of that 15, put $3 here, $2 here, $5 here, $10 over here if you want, a couple of bucks here. Everybody's got different perks, different levels. And once you've invested in what you value, let us know how you think. Spend $100. So that's 5 months, $20 a month. And after 5 months, after you've invested $100 into what's being created out there, it might be books, it might be videos, it might be podcasts, it might be somebody singing songs or something. Once you've invested $100 into people that are creating projects out there, let me know if you think that was a good investment or not. I really do think that's the next level of the internet. The next stage of the internet is people understanding that we don't need to go through big channels to do stuff. We don't, in other words, like big systems to do stuff. YouTube and the Facebook and stuff were great to get us all to meet each other. Now we know we're out there. We don't need them to introduce us or to monopolize our conversations any longer. So as the other platforms and different types of things get created, people will be a little bit less inclined to be on the big platforms only. And that's where we'll see some true diversification. That can't happen. You can't get funding the way that we do now in that future. The only way that works is for 1,000 people to make this happen, 100 people to make that happen, 452 people to make this happen. People, once they understand that with the future that we've got, where you don't need to buy a warehouse full of stuff if you only need to make a garage worth of product, and like it was in the old days, then we're just going to see a lot of change. So I think crowdfunding is a big chunk of that. I might be wrong, but we've been able to do quite a bit with relatively little funding, and we've never had to compromise or to conform to the recipes that attract the big advertisers or the big financial supporters. So again, thanks to those Patreons, the people that make it possible for us to do stuff like this. All right. Smeggy's amazing. Smeggy's bringing up John Lott and says he has good testimony on his channel. I did not watch that one this week, so I might put that on my list. But with that, I'm going to end this one. I have to drink something, and I need to take a nap. So like I say, we might be back after a bit. Been a really weird sleep schedule this week, so it is possible that we'll wake up here in a little bit and go live again as I'm working on some other projects, but I don't want to guarantee nothing. I already missed one show this week. All right, with that, we are ending it.